What's up, everybody? It's Adam and Crediberry. Very smooth, the B-E-R-R-Y-O-M-I. Hey, watch this video I posted on TikTok the other day. I know it can be saddening and maddening to think about it, but if you had to think about it, nothing is more American than a black Colin Kaepernick losing his career over him exercising his constitutionally protected First Amendment rights. Meanwhile, a white Brett Favre takes money from the welfare system of one of the poorest states in the country to build his daughter a volleyball stadium. But don't worry, if they ever try to put this in history books, they won't allow that. It might make some white kids feel bad. Damn, that video ruffles some feathers. Feathers of a certain color, if you get my drift. Now, it's kind of windy out here, so I'm gonna go inside, but watch this second video I posted in response, and then we'll discuss. On today's episode of white people doing the 40-yard dash into a 30-yard wall, yesterday I made a video saying how truly American it was that a black Colin Kaepernick lost his career because he had the audacity to kneel during our sacred national anthem, and a white Brett Favre took millions from the welfare system of Mississippi to build a volleyball stadium. And my comment section filled up with white people. Most of them I know are white because their profile picture was just a copy paper colored selfie, but the ones with no profile or a generic photo, I'm willing to bet some SPF 80 and a pair of Hey Dudes that they white too. They let me know how wrong I was and why Cap really wasn't in the league anymore. He sucked as a player. He made it all about himself. He was protesting on company time. He was about to get benched, so he pulled a publicity stunt. I'm leaving out context, etc., etc. Not one said a thing about the multimillionaire who siphoned millions of dollars from the poorest state's poorest residents to build a fucking volleyball stadium for his daughter's college. They focused squarely on Colin Kaepernick. They focused solely on what they believe the black man did wrong. Sounds about white. Damn, white people will be quick to point out how race has nothing to do with it. Cap was just a horrible quarterback. For the record, Nathan Peterman threw 5 interceptions in one half of football, and he is still in the league. So, but on that video, they showed up in droves too, on the second one. The one where I said, this is what y'all do. And then they showed up and did it. Thank you for proving my point, I guess. But at least this time, they went about it a different way. It was the both sides are bad. Both sides were wrong. Because kneeling during the national anthem and taking millions from the poorest state's poorest citizens, both are wrong. Both are bad. Yeah. And they would do this little thing I like to call like a bigotry sandwich. They would leave like this big ass comment about how bad Cap is, about how wrong Colin Kaepernick is, and then a little bitty comment, and Favre should go to jail. And then another really long comment about how horrible Colin Kaepernick is. Just a bigotry sandwich. And they don't realize that when 90% of your hatred is going towards somebody who's exercising their First Amendment rights, just because you put in a little bitty in 5 words, Favre should go to jail, 4 words, that doesn't mean you're right. That you're proving my point, people. And a lot of them say it wasn't about race. It wasn't about race. Look at all the NFL players who've been in trouble that are still in the league. Very, very true. Very true. I mean, they said, you know, look at the ones who still in the league has been wrong. Look at the ones who did bad things that got kicked out too. So you're saying that Colin Kaepernick is on the same level as Ray Rice? Ray Rice was caught on video beating his girlfriend in a hotel elevator and never played again? That's just as bad as Kaepernick kneeling during the national anthem? Your logic ain't logicking at all. And I guarantee you $1 million, I will bet $1 million that if that hadn't been caught on video, he'd be on a roster right now. Right now. Lawrence Taylor is the greatest linebacker that ever played. He's also a convicted sex offender. People never talk about that. Just want to know how badass he was when he was making tackles high on cocaine. But, you know, maybe you're right. Maybe it wasn't about race. Because, you know, Adrian Peterson beat his child and was allowed back. Michael Vick had the dog fighting thing, which was horrible. Did his time and was allowed back. Ray Lewis was found not guilty of murder and was allowed back. So maybe you're right. Maybe it is. I mean, Pac-Man Jones, all the rest he's had, played forever, during, after, everything. Maybe it's not about race. It's not about race. Maybe, you know, Deshaun Watson. Deshaun Watson was accused by over 24 women of pleasuring himself during massages. And he's a black man, so maybe it's not about race. Because after he was accused of all that, he still got a 5-year, $230 million fully guaranteed contract with $45 million, I think, signing bonus. So maybe it's not about race. Maybe if you're just a good player, they'll just overlook whatever you do. But you know what none of those people did? They didn't hold up a mirror to white America and say, do better. Say, we need to fix this. They didn't point out the history of racial injustice, systemic racism, and say, this needs to change. They didn't have the president at the time on stage saying, kick him out of the league. So maybe it's not about race. But you know it is. It doesn't matter about those other guys, because what they did, while all that is horrible, that was on them. That was them. That was confined to them. Colin Kaepernick said, look at what we do in this country. Look at how we're treated. And he lost his career. So it didn't really have anything to do with Kaepernick being black. It had to do with what Colin Kaepernick, a black man, said. And you didn't like what he said. And that's allowed you to say, well, he was a bad quarterback. He was protesting on company time. So, of course, he lost his career. Shut the fuck up. When you say that Brett Favre stealing millions of dollars after he made over $100 million in his career from using welfare funds to build a volleyball stadium, when you say that is on the same level as Colin Kaepernick kneeling during the national anthem to protest racial injustice, when you say both those are on the same level, you can't tell me it's not about race. Because it is. And we got to do better.